All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. My sound was a little low when I began. How are you doing? Thanks for hanging out with me every day on the interwebs. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Callin. And as always, there's lots to cover. So let's jump into it. Well, I'll leave this for tomorrow. There's so much to cover. I think I've got things I'm putting off for tomorrow. Anyways, from Julian Cribb. Unprecedented ocean temperatures. Much higher than anything the models predicted. Oh, they're using these models, says the denier crew. They're using these models. You can't trust them. No, you can't, actually. If the models can either tell you that something's happening that's not happening, or they can tell you that it's not as bad as it really is. There's two ways models can go if they're not spot on. Unfortunately, they leave it for you to discern which one of those statements is true. From CBS News, unprecedented ocean temperatures much higher than anything the models predicted. Climate experts warn temperatures are rising both on land and at sea, with climate experts ringing alarm bells about unprecedented sea surface temperatures in the North Atlantic. With El Niño's return, warmer than average temperatures are expected to persist and could impact sea ice levels, fisheries, and coral. We are in uncharted territory, and we can expect more records to fall as El Niño develops further. And these impacts extend into 2024, World Meteorological Organization Director of Climate Services, Christopher Hewitt, said Monday. This is worrying news for the planet. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in late June warned that half of the world's oceans may experience marine heatwave conditions by September. Research scientist Dylan Amaya said that in the organization's physical sciences laboratories, decades of measurements, such widespread high temperatures had never been seen. Normally, we might expect only about 10% of the world's oceans to be hot enough to be considered a marine heat wave, so it's remarkable to reach 40 or 50% even with long-term warming, Amaya said. Global sea temperatures in May and June were at record highs for this time of year. The temperature is also much higher than anything the models predicted, Dr. Michael Sparrow, head of the World Meteorological Organization's World Climate Research Department, said. Those high temperatures came in part before El Niño, which is associated with high ocean temperatures, even began. The European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service stressed in a July report. All right, and we're going to cover kind of bits and parts and bits of this in other posts as well. There is a good thread that I wanted to cover regarding all the things that are happening on. So this is from Leon Simons. What happened last month in the eastern part of the North Atlantic Ocean is beyond extreme. The eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean is what we're looking at. This is the sea surface anomaly. 1.71 C or 1.717. Excuse me. But look at that. Look at the spike. From 1 to 1.7 quite quickly. And also he posts June 2023 had the highest global sea surface temperature anomaly in data history. The previous record was from September 2015 during a super El Nino. Watch out for September 2023. And he's talking about this part of the graph right here, right? That's 2015-16. That was the high end of ocean temperatures, or sea surface temperature anomalies, to be exact. And here we are. Here, whammo. Much, much higher. Let's continue. I think this might be the post I was trying to get to. Yes, this is Edgar McGregor, who put together a thread. Since it is becoming hard to track, here is a thread of the simply astounding weather records planet Earth has started shattering in recent weeks. Number one, dramatic flood events have been striking various countries around the world simultaneously this week. That is some serious damage. 2, El Nino has rapidly developed in recent months as sea surface temperatures across the equatorial East Pacific skyrocket. As of yet, the presence of El Nino has not had an impact on global weather conditions. I really? Okay. That seems like a strange thing to say. But okay. I guess if you're in the attribution game, you have to be exact. But, you know, I don't know. We have crazy sea surface temperature anomalies. We have crazy world temperature anomalies. We have insane amounts of extreme weather. And yet El Nino has not had an impact on global weather. So does he mean it is so new that it has not, that the actual effects from El Nino are not felt yet? That could be what he's saying. So I'm sorry if I misunderstood the statement. He said that will change in a few months, however. As of early July, sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific remain consistent with historical El Nino events that went on to become strong. However, the Southern Oscillation Index, a method of measuring El Nino's atmospheric expression, had a neutral 3-month value of negative 0.3 from April to June. At this time in 2015, the 3-month SOI was negative 0.7. In 1997, it was negative 1.8. In 1982, it was negative 0.8. In 1972, it was also negative 0.8. This indicates that the atmosphere hasn't yet established a static free line of communication with the ocean. Until that happens, global weather patterns may not persistently be El Nino-like. Okay. He goes on to say, and repost exactly what I was just talking about. The entire northeastern Atlantic Ocean is currently experiencing its most significant marine heat wave ever by a long stretch. In fact, that area had never been a full 1C above the 1951 to 1980 average. It has suddenly jumped to 1.7 C above that average. More. Number 4, Antarctica, which is currently in the dead of winter, has unexpectedly failed to reform its winter sea ice this year. This is an exceptional deviation from the norm that has left even the most orthodox scientists, you guessed it, dumbfounded. Astonished, amazed, taken aback. He's reposting Zach Lay, but with ice growth remaining slow, the record Antarctic sea ice anomaly, negative departure from average, continues to somehow get larger in size. This is wild, right? And again, completely, absolutely off the charts. If you look at all the other anomalies happening here, I mean, this is pretty wild. Since I find this to be the most incredible statistic we're witnessing right now, it deserves a second tweet in this thread. Here's a graph showing the standard deviations of the record low sea ice in Antarctica, which is now above 5 sigma. Oh, I can't view it because it's Elliot Jacobson, whatever. But he basically spells out the frightening measure of that. 5, an incredible, powerful heat wave has been sitting over southern North America for weeks on end now, with places like Texas and northern Mexico breaking daily record high temperatures for days on end. This heat wave is moving west. Yes, it is. It is very warm here today. 6, in the Caribbean, and Gulf of Mexico, sea surface temperatures are sky high. Water temperatures are in the 90s by the Florida coast. Miami keeps breaking daily record heat index values, and major coral bleaching event will soon be underway. 7, the Canadian 2023 wildfire season will not let up, with nearly all annual records falling before we can even reach the midpoint of the season. No Canadian wildfire season has ever produced 12 terawatts of fire radiative power. 2023 has produced 18 terawatts. That is absolutely insane. And you can see by this graph here where we are in 2023. Again, absolutely off the charts. 8, all of these things have culminated in June 2023, easily being the hottest June in recorded history for planet Earth. It's likely the hottest June in 115,000 to 120,000 years, when Earth was last this warm. And he's retweeting Dr. Robert Road. The warmest June is setting 2023 up to be a new record for the warmest directly measured annual average. El Nino is providing a short-term boost of warmth on top of the long-term warming caused by humans releasing greenhouse gases. And here we are. Look at this chart. Here's 1.4. Where are we at? Guys, where are we at in global average temperature? Here's 1.4. Where are we at? We're literally at 1.5 here. Nine, finally, 2023 will likely be the Earth's hottest year on record. It will not stay that way for long, however. Another year in the very near future will come along and take over the record set this year. The climate crisis is escalating. It's time to act. All right. Well, that's fun times, isn't it? Hold on. Computer slow. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did get a tip after hours on Rockfin from iRose. Thank you, iRose. Tip me $10 on Rockfin. I appreciate it. And I guess while we're at it, let's get it out of the way. the best possible ways, most direct possible ways to support the show. PayPal.me/Kevin Sandblum. Venmo at Kevin Sandblum. Cash App at Red Llama Music. And buymeacoffee.com/Black Bear News. Thank you guys. Everybody supports this show in various ways, and I appreciate you all. Also, Patreon. Don't forget, there's Patreon. That's at Black Bear News. All right. Let's go. Oh no, that's just the thing I was just talking about. There's a bloom of toxic algae that has overtaken Southern California. I have not seen this bloom myself. And it's killed or sickened more than 1,000 marine mammals last month. I haven't seen it, meaning I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. A wave of sick and injured sea creatures is pushing the Marine Mammal Care Center to the limit, jeopardizing the San Pedro-based veterinary assistance and food shelter's ability to provide necessary care. Without more financial help and volunteers, animals might not be able to be rescued, Center Chief Executive John Warner said during a news conference this week in Marina del Rey. We need as many resources as possible to continue to care for animals, for marine mammals that have been dealing with this algae bloom. He said Thursday, the bloom of toxic algae has overtaken Southern California waters and killed or sickened more than 1,000 marine mammals last month. High concentrations of domoic acid, a neurotoxin produced by the marine algae Pseudonychia, has been found in southern and central California waters, according to forecasts by the NOAA and the Southern California Coastal Ocean Observing System, or SCOOS. The acronym is SCOOS. Which is a hilarious acronym. Anyways, sea lions, dolphins, and even seabirds have become ill after they eat small fish that consume the algae. Warner said his organization is thankful for donations received amid the largest algae bloom on record, but even though it's only July, they are over budget by $500,000. At this time last year, the center was attending to 20 marine mammals. There were 113 such critters being cared for by late June. That is a almost 6-time increase. Oh, hold on one second. All right. That's a very distressing situation. People are talking about a heat dome in the southern U.S., and this one meteorologist called it a death ridge. Steve Austin says, and here I was thinking heat dome was the worst, but death ridge. Oh no. This is a death ridge setting up next week from Chase Benton. Anyways, it's supposed to be a very strong heat dome, and it's going to be very, very hot all over the southern U.S. Doomer Girl News posting this about, again, Antarctic sea ice is really struggling right now. We are here, right? So here's all the anomalies. Here's all the, the recent years. Whoa, we are way out of way out of anywhere near the mean. And who knows where this stops, or if it stops, or if we reform enough ice to get back into. Can you guys see this? I don't. Oh, yeah, you are seeing this. So yeah, again, with the very scary graphs. Peter Dines. Peter Dines. Saying there isn't much ice on a planet with temperatures around 17 C. Also, there aren't any humans on a planet without ice. On July 6th, the temperature rose to 17.2 C and remained above 17 C for the entire week. Since 2010, the 143-year record shows that the 10 warmest years have taken place, with the past 9 years being the warmest on record. So since 2010, the 10 warmest years have taken place. The past 9 years being the 9 warmest on record. It is projected by 2100, the average temperature of the Earth will increase by around 3.2 C above. That is laughable. Peter Dines, I respect you and all that, but 2100 and 3.2. I mean, I get it. You're just being conservative. You're just saying conservative stuff. But yeah, it won't matter. By 2100, there won't be anyone around to go, wow, it's really hot over here. But 3, yeah, I don't know. Again, that would probably be the best case scenario. And that's still really, really bad. I think this is Jeff Biradelli. The atmosphere. Oh no. Yes, the atmosphere is a fluid. The atmosphere is a fluid, and it's all connected. Waves of energy ripple through the upper levels as the jet stream with ridges, heat domes, and troughs, cool pools. We see transatlantic ridging, and then most prominent is the giant heat dome that builds across the U.S. next week. I mean, most everyone is here, somewhere in here, right? There's not a lot of people left out of this heat dome. I mean, I guess if you're in the way upper reaches of the U.S., very far upper reaches, but nobody really escapes this heat dome. You see, there was a massive landslide in the Rolling Hills Estates on the Palos Verdes Peninsula today. I mean, I don't know if you want to, you know, this may or may not have anything to do with climate change, but this is a very, very upscale place to live. And the Earth has a way of doing its own thing. And maybe telling you when she's not happy. So, and even the wealthy are not spared when the Earth says, I'm good, I'm done. just being regular and normal for you. The thing is if you're wealthy, you probably have another home to go to, or you have another place to go to, or you can escape this. People who don't have any money have, well, nowhere to go. All right. We really did get through all those pretty quickly. I only had 20 things to talk about today and not 40. No, I have actually more things to talk about. Hold on. Maybe we will get to... No, we don't need that. Okay, lastly, I guess we'll talk about... People have been talking about a lake in Canada, a Canadian lake that has been found to be a site that best represents the Anthropocene. I'm not going to read too much of this, but from Doomer Girl News... When it's 8 billion people all having an impact on the planet, there's bound to be a repercussion. We've moved into this new Earth state, the Anthropocene, meaning people have changed the Earth to such an extent that it is a new geological epoch. And this is well documented. Anyway, scientists say they have found a site that marks a new chapter in Earth's history. They announced the location that best captures the geological impact of the Anthropocene era. Anyways, we moved into this new Earth state, and that should be defined by a new geological epoch. A group currently comprised of 35 geologists has been working since 2009 to make the Anthropocene part of Earth's official timeline. The group determined in 2016 that the Anthropocene epoch began around 1950, the start of the era of nuclear weapons tests, the geochemical traces of which can be found around the world. What about lead in gasoline? Wouldn't that be one of those things that you'd want to look for markers for? I mean, that's everywhere too. Since then, the researchers have considered 12 sites that could provide the key piece of evidence needed to support their proposal, 9 of which were put to a vote. On Tuesday, the scientists announced the geological site Crawford Lake in Ontario, Canada, that best captures the geological impact of the Anthropocene according to their research. Anyways, the geological timescale provides the official framework for our understanding of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. Geologists break down our planet's history into eons, eras, periods, epochs, and ages, with the eon being the largest chunk of time and an age the shortest. For example, we currently live in the Magellan age. It's part of the Holocene epoch, which began at the end of the last ice age, 11,700 years ago, when ice caps and glaciers began retreating. The Holocene is part of the Quaternary period, the most recent division of the Cenozoic era, which in turn is part of the Phanerozoic eon, which spans from 539 million years ago to the present. These geological chapters are often named after the place where they were first studied. The Jurassic period is named after fossil-rich rocks in France's Jura Mountains, while the Cambrian period got its moniker from the Roman name for Wales. Anyways, if approved, the Anthropocene would be the third epoch of the Quaternary period. It would also mean that the Holocene epoch was particularly short, Other epochs have lasted several million years. Anyways, so they're finding, they find sedimentary records of different times and different things happening in the Anthropocene in this lake. That's why it was chosen. And of course, there's arguments about it's not really the Anthropocene. Well, yes, it is the Anthropocene. Well, tell me why. I don't know. Because of this. Tor Warner, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. I don't know what that amounts to, but I appreciate the super chat. Very kind of you. All right, we're going to move into, I did not actually check any of my other platform. What is this? What's happening here? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Oh, boo. Boo hiss. Let's see. Sorry. Give me 1 moment, y'all. Thank you. All right. All right. We may actually start to move over to Rokfin to cover a couple of things. Let's see. Just trying to figure out where I'm at here in my... Things are moving very slowly, guys. It's hot in this studio, and my computer, even though I'm up on 2 ice blocks, my computer is still moving super slow. But yeah, I think we're going to move over to Rokfin for the last couple of minutes of the show. Thank you all for hanging out with me, YouTubers, and you are invited to come on over to rokfin.com, hang out with us on Rokfin for a few more minutes. All right? All right. Peace out.